Welcome to Cinema Enema.
You stole that one right from under me, mate.
While you weren't talking.
You yanked the rug right out from under my intro.
Yeah, I was looking, and part of why it takes so long is
Yep.
Interesting. You cut out right there, but
right
I want to know if it was for... I think he's still out. Are you there, Kurt?
He's still talking.
We're going to continue this without him, without the rude interruptions of my intro. Welcome back to Cinema Enema. It's been a long time since our last Enema. I know you need one as well as we do. I am stocked up full of cinema. It was almost, it's got to be at least 6 months ago since we did the last Cinema Enema.
At least.
We couldn't barely remember what the movies were. We've watched them probably in halves over the last 2 months.
Half here, half there.
This was really tough. These were tough movies to grind out, and I don't know why.
They were rather tough to watch in one sitting. I will admit that.
Well, Fear and Loathing is chaotic, and Space Odyssey is 2.5 hours long.
With little to no dialogue through the whole thing.
At least they give you an intermission to beat your meat. You know what I mean?
That's true. They do that.
That is true theme work or thematic work.
Halfway through the movie, yeah, pretty much. I don't know how else. Why aren't movies like that today? Honestly.
Because people have been oppressed to think that wanking in the movie theater is bad. And it's our right as citizens pursuing the American dream to wank in a theater.
At least Quentin Tarantino is bringing it back with his intermission in Hateful Eight.
That's very true.
Right,
but
you want
to get down to the business? I think we're going to do Fear and Loathing first. Just off the bat, what'd you think of it out of 10?
It was... See, I don't know if I can properly judge it because I don't think I got it all the way. If I say just as a movie, I don't think it was very good, but I don't think I got it all the way, so I'm not sure. It was just very chaotic and all over the place, and the plot was very straightforward, and it didn't really tell you much.
I don't think so. The plot was very weird to me. I mean,
it was just he was just a reporter going to report on this stuff. But, they did a bunch of drugs, but that was it. That was it. He was just reporting on everything and
doing a lot of drugs.
Yeah, there wasn't much to it other than the drugs.
I think you're right for the most part. There isn't a lot to the movie in terms of hidden meaning and suggested images and stuff like that, but there is some stuff there. I feel like maybe not explicitly said, but there is some things of a time, the kind of the hippie vibe going on.
I'd give it a 7 out of 10. As you were saying, it's not a deep movie, but I did really enjoy their editing and their special effects. I feel like frequently the movie, the way it was shot, it would do things easy. Like that scene where Hunter's fucking tripping out in the bar, and I forget, his travel companion, he's speaking to him, but his lips aren't matching the jumbled nonsense that he's saying. I thought all the drug scenes, though, they weren't super accurate and what it's like to take some of those drugs. It was still better than I've seen most other movies do. I did really like the editing and the special effects in it. I probably won't watch it again, but I can appreciate it for what it is.
I think it was in terms of a work of art, a portrayal of the psychedelic acid in a movie, I think they did a good job. In terms of making a enjoyable movie to watch, that's kind of a different story. I would say it's probably about a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10 is what I'd probably give it. But I enjoyed the acid trips and the lizard orgy. That was kind of just crazy, stuff that isn't true. It's just kind of made up for the film. But in a lot of the scenes, just the lighting and the camera effects, it makes it look like an acid trip. Like the overall shot of the film looks like an acid trip.
Mm-hmm.
Much more than just the crazy bats flying through the air.
That's a good
Which,
point.
I mean, to be fair, he was on a lot more than acid. He was on a hell of a lot more than acid, so
A
it
whole
could
lot of
be.
mescaline, I think, was the most drug they took.
I believe that, yeah.
Can we just talk about Johnny Depp's head here? Like, what a beautiful shave job. He didn't even go with the cover.
I just love how, like, in that picture right above it, like, he's got the stand mask on, but he's still got a cigarette in there.
The cigarette, yeah, that was hilarious, dude. I keep always getting the the anime flash when he's got the cigarette in his mouth all the time, just talking with it. You know how anime characters will just always talk with like a lollipop or a cigarette in their mouth?
Yeah.
It'll just dangle out unknowingly.
Mm-hmm.
That is really funny. Yeah, I do like some of the the crazy camera angles, the weird shots, like his little quirks, how he kind of moves his head like a squirrel, just quickly darting back and forth. Always has a cigarette in his mouth. It was kind of fun to watch, but again, it didn't change the way I really thought about anything. It didn't get me thinking deeply. It got me thinking, what the hell did I just watch? But that's about the extent of it.
I think the real hidden gem of this film is Tobey Maguire. Kind of disappointed he didn't get a bigger role.
Well, yeah, dude, he hasn't been bit by the spider yet. There's nothing he can do.
A prequel to Spider-Man.
I knew Peter Parker went through a Slim Shady phase and dyed his hair bleach.
I think we're all missing the plot here, and Tobey Maguire is an undercover cop come to bust. What's the main character's name in the movie?
Hunter S. Thomas.
No, his name isn't Hunter S. Thomas. Like,
Oh,
name,
yeah. You're
like
right.
Raoul Duke or something like that.
I have no clue.
And well, I think it's Duke. But he's come to try to get Duke and Dr. Gonzo and put him in prison. We're all just missing it.
Probably lost it somewhere in all the chaos and lack of story.
Did you do you remember that scene? Like, it's in the beginning, and it like zooms in on this like car crash, and it's got like the red car there too. Was that the dead bodies of Dr. Gonzo and Duke? And that was just the rest of the movie is just a DMT induced flash before their eyes.
Interesting. I don't remember seeing a car crash. Oh, is that the... Yeah, no, I don't remember seeing a car crash at the beginning of the movie.
Damn, dude, you must not pay attention and take notes like I told you.
I don't know why you guys take notes. You just kind of gonna go with it. You let other people take notes for you. That's what I do. Especially in this podcast.
You're really dragging this cast down right into the dirt.
I know. After missing 2 episodes of Westeros Weekly, I didn't even think you guys would let me back in.
You're still on a
After this
trial run,
picks
we
in
might
Westeros Weekly, god damn. I'm not gonna be able to find it, but it was there.
I would say the special effects.
That's really
were
interesting,
good.
yeah. I'll go back and check on that.
For like the time period and everything.
Yeah, I do like the feel of the movie, but again, no real plot to follow.
I could hardly understand Johnny Depp when he talked because he had the cigarette in his mouth the whole time. He was just like mumbling.
Yeah, he would talk, and they'd also like unsync his voice with the lips. Like, it was super. Sometimes he'd just be moving his lips, and they play like dialogue over the top.
That's all I remember.
Like a badly subbed anime.
One free internet.
Is that what it says? Oh, wow. I don't think it said that in the movie.
Maybe
I
this
wonder
is
what all these, what is this? People have gone too far, man.
All right, you can say they've gone too far, but you no one knows this except for us three, but I'm going to go ahead and put you on blast. You were looking for Rule 34 of this movie before we started this cast.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. That wasn't me.
Okay. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too far. All right, you're giving Podcastaholics a bad name here, looking through all this My Little Pony stuff.
You're right. You're right.
Just want to go ahead and say it. None of the Podcastaholics are, in fact, bronies on the record. So go ahead and get that out there.
Not officially. I can't promise I won't show up in a brony meeting picture.
As long as it's Rainbow Dash, you're good.
If you see me in a brony meetup picture, my career was ended.
We gotta kick you off.
I wouldn't blame you, mate.
We gotta get you an intervention going on.
The real thing about this movie that made me miss is you just can't get stupid high in public anymore without people calling the pigs on you.
That's true. Can you do it in Las Vegas though? Like, I'm sure you can.
I think so. I feel like most people are pretty fucked up on something in Vegas.
I felt like the pigs would have crashed this party after they wrangled the maid in that scene.
To be fair, though, I think they should have. If you're driving around on acid, and I can only assume DPH from those fucking bats flying around.
No, that was ether, dude.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They were huffing ether, and that's what he was setting up. He was we're on an ether binge, and I know what happens to a man on an ether binge. And that's when Dr. Gonzo went down, dude. He dropped that whole sheet of acid and tried to blow himself up to White Rabbit. And then he fucking threw a grapefruit at his head. What a good time.
Okay, yeah, let me change that. The pig should stop someone that's driving around high on acid and ether.
I think that's pretty fair to say.
Dude, that ether, that'll fuck you up, mate. Crazy. You think you can get any of that, man?
I mean, I've seen it for sale, but I think I'd rather have it as a novelty rather than a recreational experience.
I don't know, dude.
I think it'd just be kind of cool to have ether. Yeah, they really didn't positively portray any of the drugs he was taking.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe, I don't know. Remember when he jumps in the driver's seat and he drops the 4 sheets or 4 tabs of acid, and Dr. Gonzo's 3 hours to the hotel. I doubt you get there in time before it starts kicking in.
He'll be peaking by the time they get to the hotel.
Yeah. I think it was kind of funny, out of nowhere after that night, Dr. Gonzo just ditches Duke in the hotel room, just leaves him. And then a couple hours later, they show up in the same hotel room as somewhere else.
Those two had a weird dynamic.
I think it was I think there was a lot of people who were going to be cast as the two, but they all got too old. Jack Nicholson was originally supposed to be Duke, and I can't remember some of the other matchups. One of them would die or something like that. Very interesting.
Really?
I definitely think Johnny Depp was probably one of the better choices for the role. I feel like the way he portrayed, I guess, Duke, he showed Duke not so much like a drug addict, how I feel like a lot of people would, but he showed him more like someone who takes way too many psychedelics.
I think he's definitely, I would call him a drug addict. I would definitely say.
Definitely a drug addict. Definitely a drug addict, but not in the sense of a meth addict where he's tweaking and he needs his next fix, in the sense that this dude does acid too much and now he can't communicate right.
He's always trying to get that next step. I'm sorry, go ahead, I cut you off.
I say he's partially retarded now.
Hit him too hard.
Do you remember that scene where, I think it's in the Pink Flamingo Hotel, where Duke huffs whatever that is in the shaving kit vial?
Yeah.
Where, Guillermo del Toro starts to demon out.
Benicio.
Too bad that isn't a real drug, man.
That's not a real drug?
Yeah.
No, it's a fake one, dude.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I remember reading an interview where it was called like I can't remember what they call it in the movie. I'll just say ambrosia or something. Afterward, some guy went up to I think it was Johnny Depp and was like, "Man, I've done ambrosia before, and that was an incredibly accurate portrayal.
Yeah,
Good job."
spot on portrayal.
And the I think Johnny Depp said at the time he didn't have the heart to tell the kid it was a fictional drug.
I think there's just one more thing I really want to talk about in this movie, and it was that scene in the bar. You know what I'm talking about? Not in the bar, the like the breakfast bar, the like Waffle House.
Carnival area?
No, the Waffle House kind of thing.
Okay.
The diner, that's what I'm looking for. And that ruthless bitch calls Dr. Gonzo a spick. I can't believe she did that, dude.
That's a 2016 waitress.
All he wanted was a cream pie, and she misunderstood him. That's Dr. Gonzo is the victim of a cream pie word misunderstanding.
Verbal appropriation is a dangerous crime.
It is, it is. This scene right here was pretty good, too.
Yeah, I did enjoy that.
Where the dude's just sucking the LSD off his shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then that dude walks in there and is just fucking gone.
I'm just going to be honest. Some of this stuff I don't remember exactly because it's been like 3 months since I watched the movie.
Damn it. That's why this cast is going nowhere, Palmer.
Well, I'm sorry. I watched it like within the first week of the last episode, and then Game of Thrones hit, I guess. I don't know.
You couldn't rewatch for our loyal viewers?
I'm giving them what they want.
No, they don't want this.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to act like I know. Come on. Go on.
You better do better in the future, Palmer. But with
we
that
don't take
said,
quarter, like, yearly breaks between episodes.
With that said, I think we're going to move on to the more movie with kind of a plot to talk about.
I think that's kind of a reaching statement. I feel like they're both about equally plot-filled.
Yeah. Okay. An argument can be made for that.
I think you're just saying that because this was your movie pick.
Well, some people pick good movies and some people pick shit movies. I mean,
and some people pick movies that are just hard to understand, like both of you.
It's not my fault you're of a lesser intelligence and that you didn't understand the beauty of Fear and Loathing.
It seems like the monolith needs to come and teach you something, mate.
Okay.
This is what you fucking look like, a damn dirty ape in our podcast.
That's what I felt like when I first started 2001, because I was like, is this the right movie? This is not the right movie. That I typed in 2001 and I clicked on it and I was like, this is the wrong movie. This is just some people in monkey costumes or actual monkeys. I couldn't tell. Dancing around doing stuff.
They only had so much technology in 1968, dude.
For the first 30 minutes, I was confused. I was like, guys, am I watching the right movie?
This porn of Rise of the Planet of the Apes is kind of weird.
I've heard people bitch about how long this whole Dawn of Man scene is. So like when it hit the 30 or I guess the 17-minute mark and we were still paying attention to monkeys, I knew it was the right movie. Yeah, I thought I had a shit link at first because for 2 minutes it's just a black screen.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know what the black screen means. I think it may have just been like a thematic thing they had to do back in the day when they were showing it at the Ritz-Carlton Theater.
I assumed, I mean this might be dumb, but I assumed it was a close-up of the monolith.
Oh, it could be. Or it may just be black.
Maybe
it's, I think it's the idea that the monolith is watching us.
Just like how?
Whoa.
It was a really interestingly filmed movie. When was this filmed again?
68, I think.
Wow, it holds up pretty well. The effects are pretty good, especially for 68. Um, but yeah, what really threw me off was the really slow pacing and at first the lack of music. It was just so, it's weird in modern movies, there's always some kind of constant sound going on. So it was weird just to see these apes fuck about with no real soundtrack.
After
I
that,
thought
though, there was plenty of like score after that scene, though.
I really
That's true.
liked the ape scene. Like it didn't drag on me like most people. I thought it was only like 10, 15 minutes long.
It could have been at least 10, 15 minutes shorter, in my opinion. Like after 20 minutes, we get the idea. Okay, this is the pre-civilization. This is just apes smashing bones, dancing around. We get
No,
it.
you fool. It's
No, they
humans
don't.
evolving.
But they don't smash bones until the monolith comes and sees them. Like in the beginning, they're just all hanging out with like pigs and being like herbivores and shit. And then the monolith visits them, and then they figure shit out.
Yeah, the monolith kickstarts evolution.
I
After they
think
touch it.
we're probably gonna talk about the monolith quite a bit, and I think there's two ideas here. The monolith like kicks up evolution, and the also other ideas. The monolith is just like a TV for the other dimension to view important like happenings in our history.
So you're kind of both right on that, or both your points are right. The only thing I did look up about this movie is more stuff about the monolith, and this is coming through canon, though I haven't read all three books, so
Or,
I'm pulling this from memory. Oh, there's four? Yeah, there you go, all four books. Essentially, the monolith is an incredibly advanced piece of technology that was put all across the universe by the first intelligent species in existence, and it's essentially a monitoring tool that does help kickstart evolution. I guess they realize that it takes a species a really long time to naturally evolve. So I can't remember what they're called in the book. I think they're just called the firstborns. But the firstborns, they created these monoliths so they could jumpstart evolution all over the universe and just really get species to start evolving.
I think the monolith being so mysterious is kind of the point of why there's no information on them, because we're not advanced enough as a people, us, to even understand what they are. Just like the apes here.
That's true. I think this is also said in the book. There is a like some kind of force field around the monoliths that make them unpenetrable, undamageable by any technology we have. I think in one of the books, a comet made of pure diamond hits one, and then you can see some damage. But that's the only known way that one of those has been damaged so far.
Damn, I'm interested to see how long this fucking book is. Like, I feel like they put across the point pretty well in the movie. Like, how can they draw that out to 4 books?
I
I
don't
think it
know.
gets really in depth.
Yeah, they said like even the first book goes into way more depth than the movie, but I think like someone said like the last 2 books are just like awful. Like they were just bad. Like they went back on their points and stuff. I don't know.
They
I
hired
believe it. I
new
feel like
writers.
Huh?
They hired new writers.
Yeah.
I feel like part of what made this film so great is like the mysteriousness of it. And if you draw this story out into 4 books, then you have to unveil each mystery one
Yeah,
after
you
another.
gotta
And
kind
that,
of explain it.
yeah, and I feel like that explanation kind of takes away from it.
Your own explanation's probably the best explanation.
Yeah,
That's
just
what
like
Kubrick said multiple times in interviews. He didn't want to give people the answer to the film. He wanted them to figure it out and get their own interpretation from it.
dang Kubrick, what a man. Genius.
And I think a lot of my picks from now on are gonna involve Kubrick because he was like, the more I read about him, the more I feel like he's just this fucking movie making mastermind.
You didn't know it was a mastermind, did you? Didn't watch the epic rap battle with all the directors?
No,
That
I got my
portrayal of him
autism
was
phase in high
shite.
school.
We're not Charlie, yeah, when I have autism.
But oh yeah, so one of the things I did like going back to the score, it was really cool to hear all these fucking cliche ass classical music scenes. But this was one of the first films to do it, so it wasn't cliche at the time. But I've heard like 3 or 4 of the songs that were in this movie so many goddamn times in other movies that it was pretty cool to see what I assume is the OG.
Yeah.
This movie, I definitely think whoever wrote Interstellar like watched this the night before.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I got a very interstellar-y vibe from watching the movie.
I think it would have been better with Matthew McConaughey. That dude really knows how to go into space and how to look like he's crying, but not really.
What a talented man.
So going chronologically. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I just have, so before I get to the big ideas of the movie, I just have like little notes that I took that I guess thought were interesting. I thought it was cool to see what their interpretation of the future was going to be like, even though it was only 40 years in the future. Obviously, I know that they didn't expect to have like HAL be a thing, but the fact that these international not even international flights, interstellar flights, I guess. The fact that air hostesses still dress like 1960s air hostesses, or when the guy was having to list off his destination, his name, his nationality, and his given Christian name. If you tried to introduce that system now, people would lose their shit. So it was just really interesting that like some of the things that they thought would still be in the future.
Like the future, but in the 60s still.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Fallout.
I guess so. What do you guys think of the second monolith scene?
I thought it was. I had a couple like different. Like I was confused at like, what was going on at times. Like when they were all around it, I thought at first, like, 'cause they all started moving towards it, like one at a time. I thought the monolith was taking control of them, but they were really just grouping up to take a picture. So I don't know.
I thought they were just gonna get sucked in.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting the parallels it drew between the first monolith scene. I thought it was very clear in showing that, like, especially for a 60s film, and really pushing the idea of evolution. I thought it showed very clear lines between early apes interacting with the monolith and us then, I guess, interacting with the monolith.
Did the apes get together and paint on a tablet what they all look like? I don't think they ever really explained the screeching noise, like where.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why.
Oh, that was the radio frequency that it shot into Jupiter.
Okay.
Huh.
I thought the monolith just didn't want its picture taken.
Guys, you didn't say yes. You didn't say go.
Jeez, I wasn't fucking looking.
I blinked when you took the picture, mate.
God damn it.
I was in the middle of a mono sneeze. But yeah, so that was like the radio frequency that it shot into like at Jupiter, and so that's why they were like, all right, well we gotta follow it. So
okay, that was the thing. They had to follow the signal.
Yeah.
Was this monolith like encounter? Was it the encounter that made the evolutionary leap to make AI, like the AI that's sentient?
That's what I was thinking. Because HAL was a relatively. I actually have some different ideas on that. I feel like HAL originally was just a hyper smart computer, but on its way to Jupiter, it kind of got in between. I was under the assumption the second monolith was sending a steady stream to Jupiter, so I thought when their paths crossed, the monolith was able to advance HAL. That's what I took away from it.
I feel like Hal like dropped a tab of acid halfway through the trip, and he started thinking about shit, and he's like, you know what? I don't really need these guys. They're just kind of shit.
Yeah, I
running around everywhere.
Sleep.
that was one of the things I was gonna bring up. Do you think how like that was just his rational, that was like him rationally thinking, okay, these monkeys make mistakes. This mission's too important. Gotta end it.
Yeah,
Or do
gotta
you
get rid of
think
these monkeys.
my interpretation of it was that he evolved enough to experience emotion, and we saw scenes where even the director said that he sensed a bit of pride in the way Hal spoke. I thought Hal was getting emotion, and when he figured out that the humans wanted to end him, he got petty and
Yeah.
pissy, and
It's self-preserving.
yeah, he had like an independent will to want to live. And he wanted to do what he could to preserve his own life.
I think it's definitely like what you were talking about there, where when I don't remember what the main actor, what is his character's name? Actor dude?
Yeah, basically.
Spaceman. When the spaceman is like trying to turn off Hal, and Hal's like pleading with him, he's like, I'm scared,
Yeah.
Rick," or something like that. And like at that point, Hal is more human than the humans.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
you can definitely like the evolutionary loop of the humans, like the human is looking back on Hal as like kind of an inferior part of the evolution.
That's how, or that's part of where my idea came from too, with how like evolving enough to experience genuine emotion when he was saying like, "I'm afraid." I think his name was Dave. "I'm afraid, Dave. I can feel my mind going."
Mhm.
Dave.
It was so sad, dude. Dave.
Remember when he sang that really cute song?
Yeah, that was really good, dude. I can't believe those stupid fucks. They didn't imagine the fucking red eye could read their lips.
Well, not only that, they like, if you're talking about someone, you don't keep staring at them while you're having the conversation about them. That was one of my big takeaways, is like they're constantly like, okay, what do you think about how? And their eyes and head are just darting to the left and right constantly.
If I couldn't
looking
read
at Elliot.
if I couldn't read lips, I could have figured out what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
really
looking back
telegraphed
at you.
like, hey, we're gonna fucking kill this guy.
Yeah, I probably would get out there too. I don't blame Hal, dude. Hal was just trying to get the mission done.
And trying not to die at the same time.
Yeah, but like then he killed all the people that were sleeping. So I mean,
Yeah, he did kill all those folks. Hal's kind of a dick.
kind of a dick.
They did die in their sleep though, so he could have just fucked him like he did the first guy and just let him hurl into the void of space.
He could have just thrown him out into space and let him die.
I will say though, I was surprised that Hal didn't have more control over the ship. I feel like if he wanted to, or he should have been able to keep that door locked or kept doors locked to prevent Dave from getting to his brain, essentially.
Yeah, when Dave he like shoots out of the
pod.
Yeah, the pod and floats through space. Is that kind of symbolic of the kind of the overall plot of the movie, just like humans becoming space adapted? Like he's breaking free of that pod and he's floating through the open air.
That's interesting. I didn't consider that.
Would that really happen though? Wait, could he survive that being in like a vacuum for that long? I mean, it was only a few seconds, but
I think eventually like your face starts to like crush in.
If you're in like if you're in the protected environment of the spacesuit, then you'll be fine as long as you have oxygen. But if there's any kind of leak or you depressurize, then you immediately die.
okay, so he would have been dead as soon as he opened the door.
Did he have a helmet on? I can't remember.
No, that was the only real inaccuracy of the movie.
Have like a helmet or gloves or anything.
Yeah, he would have.
I think you can survive like a minute or two.
But I thought like if you have oxygen in a closed like space, well, I guess not because spaceships have oxygen.
I mean, it wasn't a big point, but it was okay. So I think even if you close your mouth and your nose, then gases in your body would escape through your ears and eyes. Like, I think there's no way to, if you're exposed to a vacuum without being in a sealed environment, I don't think there's any way to survive that. I think your blood starts to boil from the lack of pressure. Like, I'm pretty sure it fucks you proper immediately.
Yeah, I definitely think you die, but I don't think it's like that. Like immediately you die. I think you can like float a little bit and then you die. Maybe 15, 20 seconds, but then I mean, you
That
get
does
a
sound
little
a bit
bit.
more right.
You can like experience it. It's not like getting your head chopped off.
And I feel like it should be like it would be like an instantaneous.
Like you exploding.
Yeah, like if you're underwater without any type of thing, you compress because of the pressure. In space, you should like blow it up. You should
Explode.
explode.
Like that girl in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
That was a demented movie, dude. I can't believe that they let that old fuck kill all those kids.
Hey, let's talk about what's the grandpa's name? Grandpa Joe, like welching off the family for 20 years, and when some
Fuck,
sort
get out
of
of
like
bed.
yeah, like when there's a chance that we can make money. Oh, cool.
Oh, I can feel my legs again. It's a miracle. You've been laying in that damn bed for 30 years. I've been wiping your ass, Uncle Joe.
But
The welfare state. God, Grandpa Joe.
what
He's
an
been eating
asshole.
that cabbage soup. You know his ass stink. Ooh, Grandpa Joe, they put some extra cabbage in your soup today.
But so what was your guys' interpretation of that? I guess the color scene about 2 hours in after Hal has been essentially made retarded, or at least lost higher brain function. And
the space gate.
yeah.
I figured that was just like him going in between like two different dimensions. Like that was like the space in between it.
The way I understood it is like the monolith aliens were unraveling the secrets of the universe, but he was so retarded in his monkey iOS that he couldn't understand it, and it just looked like blurs of color.
That's a pretty good like explanation of it. I think they were definitely trying to show him information because there's a lot of comparisons to there's one particular thing that kind of looks like the Big Bang to me, or what I assume the Big Bang would look like. So I feel like they're showing him creation and just all aspects of the universe. There's a lot of comparisons to new life. Some of these star patterns kind of look like fetuses to me. There's a lot of comparisons to the human eye, which I'm not 100% sure what that would mean, but I think it would have something to do with like acquiring new knowledge.
You know what part of the movie looks? You know what part of that looks like a fetus to me?
Which part?
That big fetus at the end of it.
Yeah, that big fetus. That was definitely a fetus, I think.
We're building up to the big fetus.
But go up a little bit in your pictures. Go up a little bit. All right, hang on. Yeah, up a little bit. I was curious what you guys might think these are. Hang on, up a little bit more. You just scroll past it. Up a little more. Right there. That picture with all the little diamonds or crystals, the blue things. What do you think? What do you guys think those are?
Ruples.
If I had to assume, I wouldn't have figured it out on my first time viewing this. But right before the cast started, I did read someone's interpretation of the ending, and I would have an idea of what those are if you want to hear them.
Maybe like space colonies?
In a way, yeah. Well, not so much colonies, but individual observation stations. The idea is that where, I think his name's Dave, where Dave ends up in that weird like sterile room with the Victorian style furniture, that's essentially a zoo. And the firstborns are like capturing different intelligent life from all across the galaxy, and they're putting them in these little zoos that make the people feel, or the intelligent life feel at least somewhat comfortable. And while they're in these zoos, they are obtaining all of the information of the universe needed so that they can evolve their species further.
It all makes sense now.
Steve Jobs is the first race.
So when he's walking down the hall in a spacesuit and he sees the old guy eating, is that him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's a jump cut.
Okay.
when the first time I this was again before I read that like zoo interpretation. I had the idea that we were seeing this whole space was fundamentally fucky in how time works,
Hmm.
and I felt like he was just experiencing all of his life simultaneously within that space. That's how he was able to like briefly see parts of himself, but
I
in the
think
future.
the aliens are trying to get across the point of like bodily death in this like the zoo part. I didn't know the when you said the zoo part, that made a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Hmm.
They're trying to like show him like your monkey iOS is gonna die, but you've got to make the transformation into like the new interstellar being.
I think, following the same vein of that, I think in the books, it's thought that the firstborns they got so advanced that they were able to shed their mortal bodies and they were able to live as like their consciousness, their conscious eye consciousnesses. I don't know how you say that, but they were able to transform
Conscious.
those into energy. And through that energy, they essentially become one of the big themes in this movie. I think is the idea of God, and they essentially become like God because they're able to move at these incredible speeds. They have an incorporeal form, and I think that's ultimately what they're trying to advance the other races into, and that's why he becomes that like crazy fetus thing at the end. He essentially becomes a human god, just like every species has their own individual god from like one chosen individual to ascend to that
Hmm.
incorporeal form.
What if when he becomes the fetus god that's when he's going back to Earth like as you can see because they're like right next to each other. He's going back to
Mm.
Earth to place down the first monolith.
I thought
Wow.
I had that thought when before I read what the monoliths were. I thought the movie was gonna show us that humans got super fucking advanced and then place the monolith so they could evolve themselves essentially.
Kind of like how Bran Stark is the three-eyed raven, and he told himself to always have a Stark in Winterfell, so he'd be born.
Just like it.
Yeah,
All right, guys. All
similarities.
right. Hey, this is not Westeros Weekly. That is done until next summer.
Rip.
But the all season, it's long and full of terrors.
We're beyond the wall now.
Nothing can save us in this cold time.
But yeah, I really like the themes in this movie. I thought the ideas were really cool to entertain. I would like to watch it while tripping, but not pre and mid peak. This is definitely a post peak movie. Some of the songs they played, I think I looked it up afterward. The main one that's essentially like a choir of people that are kind of like I don't want to say they're screaming, but they're doing that ominous hum.
Hmm.
I think it's called like
That one.
that one, but less musical, more like culty. Um,
Kind of
I,
like a group of eunuchs is singing it.
yeah, a group of eunuchs. Damn, can't really remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah, that song would just kind of creep me out mid trip, at least during the pre and mid peak.
Yeah, I think so too. This movie was kind of, I definitely say it was too much for your peak, like too intense.
Hmm.
But talking about the themes of this movie, I've already said it, but the big thing to me was the evolutionary jump from like human beings to like interstellar beings. And I think he puts this across like very well with all like the clunky space technology and like the heavy breathing, like humans are just fishes out of water up in space. Like they
Hmm.
haven't made the crawl to land yet, and they're all just just they're not supposed to be there. Uh, like a fish walking on land is probably gonna die.
Probably.
That's interesting. I mean that makes a lot of sense. One of the I guess I wouldn't know which of the themes stuck out the most for me. Definitely like ideas about God because hell, even in the beginning with Dr. Floyd, he says something like, "We want to be 100% sure about this thing because releasing this information to the public could have I can't remember the exact wording, but like devastating cultural effects." I thought there were interesting ideas about God, interesting ideas about creation and evolution, not just like human evolution, but just the evolution of life and intelligence and consciousness. Can't remember. Yeah, I'd probably say those were some of my bigger takeaways from it.
I really like the idea. Like, after it was over, I felt smarter for it.
I agree. It's definitely.
At first, I felt like I was dumber for not understanding it, but now that no one really understands it, I feel a lot better.
Yeah, I think it's open to interpretation. I don't think you were supposed to get it on the first watch.
Yeah, that's something people frequently say. I think Kubrick himself even said, if you understand this movie after the first watch, then I failed.
Yeah.
I failed.
I failed. He must now do seppuku.
Alright, so on the 10th episode of the 13th episode rather of Cinema Enema, 13th episode anniversary, we all need to do 2001: A Space Odyssey again. Have a special episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we all need to do an Enema.
I thought you were going to say we need to watch Friday the 13th.
No, well, I was going to relate it back to this somehow, but I mean...
It just a 10-episode anniversary. I don't think that's a very big gap. Why don't we just do an anniversary next video? Week anniversary.
Well, I mean, a 10-episode anniversary is going to be like, I don't know, probably like 2 years from now, going at the rate we're
in. You're probably right, mate. We go through our enemas too infrequently. We
need it
stocked up.
You need an enema at least once a week.
At least once a week, dude. At least once a week.
I think now that Game of Thrones is over, we'll start going through them quicker.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But to wrap up Space Odyssey, what do you give it out of 10?
Probably like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like a 9.5, not 9.5, just 9 out of 10.
I think I'd say 9. I know it's like a cinema masterpiece, but I mean it wasn't like I want to watch this movie all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a movie you can just watch.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. Well,
yeah, dude, Pirates of the Caribbean 2, 10 out of 10.
At World's End, that was the best one.
2 is the worst one, you casual.
I don't remember the separate Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't give a fuck about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wow, dude, they were kind of good. So.
You can't say that on Cinema Enema. We're a cultured cinema podcast, and you are just all over it, just crapping
they're
over cinema.
They're entertaining, but they're not masterpieces.
1 and 3 were the best, and 2 and 4 kind of. But
you didn't like Blackbeard?
5, right? He was all right. He was more happy-go-lucky than I wanted him to be.
Wait, are they making a 5th?
Yeah, they're making a 5th. Just like they're making that 5th Transformers movie.
God, that's gonna be trash.
Nah, dude, it's gonna be a solo movie about Bumblebee.
If you guys pick anything by Michael Bay, I'm not watching it. I'm gonna read the summary on Wikipedia at most.
Alright, Michael Bay has some good movies.
Admittedly, I don't know all of his movies.
He had 13 Hours wasn't bad. I know there's an old movie. You guys ever watch Armageddon?
I haven't watched it.
I'm
the
bad.
only thing. Yeah, so what's that gonna do to the recording?
It says like I can just stop broadcast still, so I think we're good.
Huh.
Interesting stuff. Google Hangouts is really top tier.
Yeah, super advanced.
So what do you guys talk about since I've been gone?
How long have you been gone?
Just like 30 seconds.
Okay.
I bet we've been talking about Michael Bay.
Nice, nice. I was going to talk about the movies for next week.
Have you ever seen Armageddon?
Armageddon? What is that one?
The movie about Armageddon. Okay, yeah.
I feel like they have more than one Armageddon, dude.
The Michael Bay 1998 Armageddon.
Yeah, it's about I think The Rock has to take some kind of giant drill so he can drill a hole into a comet that's heading towards Earth.
Oh, is that the one where they teach the miners to be astronauts and not the astronauts to be miners?
They're oil drillers, but yeah, basically.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
is
I've seen it. Doesn't it
Bruce.
have Steve Buscemi in it?
Yeah, it has Steve Buscemi and Bruce Willis. Not
It
The
also
Rock.
has over 120 impossibilities. I think I think in like certain physics classes they play that movie and have the students pick out like how many impossible situations there are, and it's over 120.
I don't know what y'all want to do. That really happened. This is a true story.
Didn't they have to leave Steve Buscemi behind? That was the hardest part of it.
No, that was Bruce Willis. I think Steve Buscemi
Really?
dies though.
Damn.
I know Owen Wilson dies. I don't even know how he got into space.
Owen Wilson is in that movie? Who let that dude not be in a comedy?
Probably the same
That
people
does-
that put him in that Escape the Island movie.
Oh, that was God. That was shit, dude. That had to be the worst movie I've ever seen.
Worse than Transporter?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. That oil fight scene, that was good.
How'd you
I don't
not
care
like
what
it
you
when
say.
he stepped on the bike pedals and they just came off and he used those to walk?
That does raise an interesting point, though. So the main reason I was excited about doing this is to widen my my like movie library. We don't have to watch masterpieces every week, obviously. Some movies we can watch, just for entertainment purposes. Kind of like Fear and Loathing. You're not really a better person for seeing it, but it was kind of a unique cinema experience. Yeah, it was interesting. Do you guys want to include in the rotation shit tier movies like things by Michael Bay, maybe Transformers 3, Fast and the Furious 6?
You didn't like Transformers 3 either?
I haven't seen any of them. I've seen the first Transformers movie and 20 minutes of the second. I know they're all shit. I don't need to watch all of them.
No, dude. The first one, second one, I'd say they were pretty good. Like, watching that, Transformers, badass.
I feel like the main problem with the Transformers movies is that they're about humans and not about the Transformers.
That is very true.
Like if they
Like a
just made like
Transformer war, that would be sweet to watch.
that would be like take all the humans out, take Earth out, just put Transformers on Cybertron.
Transformers War of Cybertron. That was like, didn't they have the TV show about that?
They had a game too.
The TV show was top tier too, dude. The
I
Cartoon
think that's all the
Network one.
TV show was about, yeah. Like, I used to watch the cartoon.
hmm
Maybe that's why I didn't like the movies, because it just didn't live up to how I used to feel about the cartoon.
I don't know, dude. Shia LaBeouf, top tier actor. He made the movie.
He is a really good actor.
I don't care what anybody says.
I prefer his motivational speaking, personally.
Well, he's the jack of all trades. I mean, come on.
What
The
was
man
it?
is the treasure.
Just do it. Just do it.
Too weird to live and too unique to die.
I'm not famous anymore.
You like how I dropped that quote right from Fear and Loathing into this cast?
I think that's
Well
such a-
done, well done. Oh, but yeah, so do you guys want to include shit tier movies in the rotation?
Yeah, I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd like to roast a movie for 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. That's a good idea.
Movie roast.
Oh, we should do a separate podcast. Enema is the culturing movie, like the masterpiece, and then movie roast is the awful movie.
With this shit talking movie for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch Cinema Sins and use all the complaints that he has in my analysis of these shit movies.
Yeah, that dude puts pretty much an hour and a half into like 8 or 9 minutes.
But most of his complaints, like, most of his complaints about movies are stuff like, oh, here's Liam Neeson not killing anyone. Here's another sin.
Liam Neeson being Liam Neeson, another sin.
Yeah, a lot of his sins aren't justified.
Like, he has a lot of continuity errors and stuff that like he points out. I'm like, oh, that's a good point. But then a lot of it's just like,
Ugly outfit, minus
Yeah.
one. The man
That
can
is
have an
true.
opinion on anything he wants.
That is true. But do you want to move on
like,
to?
sins off sometimes, so that's cool. Yes, move on.
Yeah, do you want to move on to the movie picks for next week?
Yeah. So this week it's me and Palmer. Finishing last week was Kirk's last week on his bye week now. Since he chose a shit tier movie, it only deserves it. So my pick for this week is a new one. Damn, what's that movie called? Straight Outta Compton.
Ooh.
So we're gonna watch that, get pretty cultured. We're gonna
Right.
be super cultured, all those white kids.
No, I'm already cultured because I've already seen it. You cheeky fuck.
Can we watch that movie without being culturally appropriated?
Yeah, dude, we can do whatever we want.
Okay, true. We're
We don't
white.
have sponsors. We don't have sponsors. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
Oh, yeah. Thank God we dropped all of our previous sponsors.
Thank God we dropped our sponsors.
Like 10-minute mail and Audible for screwing me out of $60.
Did you forget to cancel your membership?
Yes. To the emails that I had forgotten the emails to because they were 10-minute
Oh
emails.
my God, you fucked up.
Did you ever get that whole issue solved?
You
Yeah.
used a real credit card with a 10-minute email.
You can't not use a real credit card on Audible. You have to put it in to get the free book.
You can use a fake card.
Yeah, go to a 10-minute credit card generator.
Do they have those? I don't think they have those.
Those
Well,
have
I
to be
mean, they
legal.
do, but they're stolen.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Let me just
Yeah.
borrow your credit card real quick. I'm not gonna spend any money on it. I just need your numbers.
I just need your numbers. Why don't you start offering to pump people's gas, and when they give you your card, you just run off.
And they can't chase me very far because they don't have any
'Cause
gas.
they're out of gas. And they can't get any more.
That's a good point. That's a good point. All right, so my pick, sticking with the theme, Ghostbusters 2016.
No,
Holy
you fucking
God
bastard.
damn it.
No, I'm just kidding. Gotcha.
I was about to say I'm gonna figure out the most illegal way to watch that movie just so I make sure the creators don't get anything
Any
from it.
money.
No ad revenue, no site traffic, nothing.
No, I keep an ad block on.
I'm gonna download 2 more ad blocks just to be sure.
2 more.
You disable your ad block? How about no? I'm just gonna watch it somewhere else.
Okay, so sticking with my previous theme and the theme that so far with gangs and everything, we're gonna go with Gangs of New York.
I
Another.
thought you were gonna do a Johnny Depp movie.
I thought you were gonna go with a Leo movie.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, Leo's in Gangs of New York.
Hmm.
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 I do
When
not
did that
know.
movie come out?
I want to say 2005.
If you want to watch a gay movie with Leo, we might as well watch The Departed.
You want to do a double Leo week?
Nah. Can't do too much Leo, dude.
The Departed, I mean, that's on my list. That was going to be like my next pick. 2002 is when it came out. But The Departed is like a great movie.
We'll save it for another Leo.
Wait, have you seen it?
The
I've seen
Departed?
it.
What's the point of picking a movie you've already seen?
Because you guys
That
haven't
is
seen
very
it.
true. That is very true.
Well, you guys haven't seen it, though. I thought we were... Like, didn't one of y'all pick a movie that you've already seen before?
Unfortunately.
I haven't, I don't think.
Alex saw No Country for Old Men when I
I
picked
didn't pick it.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, when I picked it. And he picked Straight Outta Compton, which I've seen.
See, I had to get you back.
Dang it. All right, well, I guess we are doing Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, guys.
But what about have you seen Gangs of New York too?
I've seen Gangs of New York, but you guys haven't.
I feel like you're missing the point of this cast.
Yeah, why don't you watch a movie you haven't seen, dude?
I don't know. I guess my notes. I guess these aren't my movie notes. These are just random movie notes.
Hmm.
All right, hang on. Give me like 2 seconds. Let me look up a Leo movie I haven't seen.
Hey.
God.
No. We'll just talk him through it. Do you want it to be a Leo movie you haven't seen?
I'm trying to think of one that I haven't.
Is there a Leo movie that you haven't seen?
The
Wait, have you
Aviator.
seen all the movies that you've picked?
No,
Okay.
I haven't seen any of the movies I picked.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I was really.
Better not be the Titanic. That bitch is long. I cannot watch that, dude.
Nah, I've already seen that one. Well, I mean, if you guys want, we can watch The Aviator if you want.
What's
What
that
is the
about?
Aviator?
It's about Howard Hughes. It's like a biopsy. A biopic. I said biopsy.
A biopsy? What?
It's like a biopic of Howard Hughes.
A biographic?
Same thing.
A biopsy is when they like fucking cut some shit out your skin or something.
I know. I said that at first, and then I was like, my bad, biopic.
No, you never said my bad. You just try to write it off. I don't let things slide in this cast.
Same thing.
Every
So do
slip of
you?
tongue you have to pay for.
You have to
Alright.
pay the iron price. Uh,
What
I
does
will.
dead man ever die?
What is
So
it?
the
Made every
Aviator
guy.
is your official pick.
No, I'm just, no. Okay, I'm gonna. All right, you know what? Also, we're gonna do away with the whole Leo theme. Ghostbusters, it is. 'Cause that's gonna be our trashy movie of the week.
Alright.
Okay.
We can roast it. I know you got.
I'm gonna be really disappointed if I end up liking it.
I'm scared I will.
Well,
Oh,
we
I
don't
know
I'm
know
I
really
why.
all into this feminism 2016 stuff, so I may just flip sides.
Wait. Well, before we submit on Ghostbusters, is it old enough that you can get a good quality of it online?
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
good point. All right,
I
maybe we
mean,
should.
who is gonna leak that shit online? It's
That's a
like
good point.
it's
All
like
right.
shit drugs. Like nobody buys it, so who buy? I mean,
That is true. Here, let me. I have a movie streaming site that I can give you guys the password to. Let me check real quick to see if they have it.
Have you guys seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
yes.
Oh no! Wow. Yeah. This place only has the originals in the '80s.
Was that the 80s? I thought it was like 95.
I thought it was '90s too, but apparently it's '80, like '84 and '89.
I can never tell the difference between the 80s and like the 70s.
There's no real, for me, like it's the '80s is weird because like with the '70s, I think of guys dressing kind of like women, classic rock, rebellion, rock in general just being popular. And with the '90s, I get a lot of grunge and like technology boom, but nothing really comes to my mind during the '80s. Maybe like shit clothes, but that's about the extent of it.
I
You guys
just think
seen The
of
Shining?
like fucking metal concerts. That's all I can think of.
Was
Leather
metal big in
jackets.
the '80s?
I think so. I think metal was big back in the 80s.
Okay.
That's when Mad Max came out. Everyone dressed like they were in it.
Palmer, if you want, I have a list of movies here that I could like read off, maybe give you some inspiration.
Hang on, I got. Have you guys seen The Shining?
No, I
Yes.
actually haven't. I have seen a documentary about The Shining.
Have you seen it, Alex?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm trying to get another Kubrick movie.
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen,
I'd be super down for that. I don't know what all movies he's worked on though.
I've already seen like Clockwork Orange. Now we just watched 2001.
Oh, I didn't know he did Clockwork
Have
Orange.
you guys seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, I've seen Full Metal Jacket.
You haven't seen Full Metal Jacket, dude? That is a fucking classic.
No, I
It's
still haven't
pretty
seen
good.
it.
That is like my favorite movie.
Really?
It's super good, dude. I love it.
It's good. There's a huge tone shift halfway through that's unexpected.
It's like two different movies.
Yeah.
Just like the first book of Sherlock Holmes.
Rip Private Pile.
Gone but
Alright.
not forgotten. Alex, I think you muted yourself.
I've been mute myself on and on because of the fuck outside with the lawnmower.
Oh, dude, no way, me too. Except I think he has a weed whacker.
Alright, looks like we're gonna go with.
I don't care what kind of whacker he's got. I don't know why you're looking at it. Alright, so you done with this cast?
No, I'm trying to find a Scorsese movie.
Session 9.
I can't
Then-
believe those poor mentally ill people can make movies as schizophrenics. And that is named Martin Schizophrenic.
The
Have you
Fifth
seen-
Element. Primer.
Primer.
Boondock
Yeah, I ain't
Saints.
seen Primer.
Boondock Saints. Bone Tomahawk.
Bone
Tombstone.
Bone Tomahawk, we can do that. That's a good movie. I've seen it.
God damn it. The Big Lebowski. Reservoir Dogs. The Man Who Knew Infinity. Requiem for a Dream. Equilibrium. Noroi. That's all I got.
Ooh, okay. How about The Machinist?
You
I
mean The
haven't seen that.
Machinist?
The Masochist? Dude, I'm super interested in that.
Isn't that the one with Christian Bale and he gets real skinny?
Yeah,
I think
it's
so,
like
yeah.
90 pounds.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Alright, cool.
Alright, so we're gonna watch The Machinist.
It looks like a duck.
Definitely doesn't look like he's Batman.
Can you believe that? Like he went from this to Batman in like under a year.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about how impressive and possibly unhealthy that is. I don't know why I
Very
said that, how
unhealthy.
unhealthy that is, yeah.
Very unhealthy. He's such a gift. He gives it all to us.
I think they said for that, like for his diet, he ate nothing but like cracker, like saltines and Jello.
I'm surprised he ate anything. He just starved himself for
I
months.
wonder why saltines and Jello. What?
Just bare nutrition and flavor.
Yeah, I don't think you get a lot of shit from Jello. I think you
There's
just shit it
no,
out.
yeah, there's no way that's bare nutrition. That's like,
Well, I mean, if you look at him, he's not really caring about nutrition.
I think he's eating the Jello just to have something to eat. Like,
Yeah.
I'd assume so. Like, you'd think the fuck would at least take a multivitamin. Like, that's living on saltines and Jello. How did you not develop some kind of disease from that?
well, you do, but I mean, people do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think you get a lot of diseases from poor health.
Hmm.
I'd say the majority, if not all of them, stem from poor health.
The rickets.
The rickety cricket.
I know, so The Machinist, is that like an action movie?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I know
So
Christian Bale's skin is
Psychological
fucking it.
thriller.
I played this game called Broforce, and the entire cast of Broforce was like different heroes, or like different well-known action stars. So you had like with the name Bro melted in. So you would have like Mr. Bro, who would be Mr. T, or like Bro Norris or Rambro. I can't remember his name, but they had the Machinist in there too. So I think it is an action movie.
It's a psychological thriller, so I don't know. We'll find out, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that'll be interesting then. Oh, one of the things I was thinking of for my pick, so I was fucking around online yesterday and I came across one of the creepiest scenes I've ever seen from a movie. And it's from a Japanese horror movie called Noroi. Would you be against J horror?